Matt Bentley, MMA Futures. I'm here with William Joplin, the 145 pound, 135 pound Dynasty Combat Sports Pro Champion. Tomorrow night, you defend your title against Emeka if it can do. Okay, Emeka is undefeated, 5-0. Why don't you kind of tell us about your preparation leading up to that? You know, you're kind of a grizzled veteran, you know, a salty vet against a guy who's a little bit newer in the sport. You know, and even though he's 5-0, why don't you kind of tell us about your mindset like heading into that fight, man?
Man, my mindset's the same every time, man. You know, as far as fight preparation goes, man, it goes the same every time, man, really. You know, unless it's a super guy that's specialty at a very specific thing, you know, like a black belt in jiu-jitsu that's very good on a certain submission. I might practice on staying away from that submission and protecting myself, you know, in that environment. But other than that, I mean, I train with killers every day, you know, twice a day, every week. So, I mean, they keep me on my toes every day of the week. So my fight preparation every fight is getting in there and finding the hardest rounds with the best killers that we got, you know, which is a hard round every night. So, I mean, I feel great. You know, yeah, he's 5-0, but, you know, I've got more amateur fights alone than he's got his whole career, as far not even counting my pro career. So, you know, I believe experience is going to play a huge key in this. I'm pretty much guarantee he's never been in a fight with a guy like me. So I just don't think his mind is very prepped for what he's about to get into when it comes tomorrow night.
Jop, so you are the guy that answers the phone pretty much every time the promoter calls. You know, you are the guy that is constantly on the ready, constantly ready to let them hands go. And you take opportunities as soon as they come knocking, man. Emeka is the guy that has kind of built his career. You know, kind of it's a different era than like when I was fighting or when you started fighting. You know, like mid 90s, late 90s. You know, like when you and I started fighting. It's a different era. Do you think that plays into how tomorrow night's going to go? I mean, do you think that you know, him kind of building his career the way he has, and you almost have to now, like not to fault him, you almost have to now to get to the big show. But it used to be, you know, you fought whoever showed up. There was no YouTube, man. You know, you fought whoever was across the ring from you.
Yeah, I fought UFC vets, Bellator vets, LFA vets. I mean, to say I've had an easy fight my whole fight career is very hard to say. You know, I don't even know. Like, you know, couple months ago, I fought Joe Wilk. You know, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, awesome record, and I finished him, you know, in the first round. 3 weeks later after that, I fought one of the number 2 guys in the country outside the UFC, Juan Archuleta. Took him to a decision, and you know, he's beat guys and finished guys that I broke, and you know, and I went to the distance. So that alone says just about everything about me. And like I said before, I'm pretty positive he's never been in the ring with a guy like me that just doesn't stop. I don't give up. You know, I'll be in your face the whole fight. I don't care if my face is bloody, cut, beat up. It doesn't matter. I'm going to stay in your face the whole fight. And he's also got 5 rounds to deal with me, which I'm, you know, pretty sure it ain't going to go that far. But he's got that in his mind as well. So I hope he can swim well, because there's some deep waters coming.
All right, so he's got glory on his forehead. He's got glory on his chest. You know, glory is the spot to one of the top spots to be in the Midwest, man. I've been there. I've trained there. I know a lot of you guys down there. It absolutely, like when you say that you have trained with some of, and that you do daily, train with some of the toughest guys on the planet. You absolutely do. What do you think that having, you know, that iron sharpens iron mentality is going to do for you heading into tomorrow night?
I think it's going to do everything. I mean, I train with guys like Tim Elliott, James Krause, Zach Cummings, Grant Dawson, which is phenomenal rounds for me. We've got some of the best up-and-comers coming up in amateurs that give me, you know, hard-ass rounds every night, you know, every day of the week. I mean, I believe that's going to play a role in everything. You know, I just don't think he goes through what I go through twice a day, 6 days a week. You know, every day of my life. You know, he's 5-0, and he's a very athletic stud. I get that. You know, I just don't think he's big enough, strong enough, and I don't think he's got the mindset that I got to keep up with me in the deep waters. Even if it goes in the first, second round, which I believe it's not going to last long, but you know, I'm not doubting his skill at all. I just don't believe he's prepared to take on a guy with me, like me, that deals with what I deal with every day, with the guys that I go with every day, that make me better. And I believe, you know, I'm like fine wine. You know, I'm getting better with age. You know, my last fight with one of the number 2 guys in the country was one of my best performances in my life. So, I mean, not to put anything against him, I just don't think he's ready for that.
Okay, so before we finish with the champ here, I'm going to give you 3 tasks, okay? I need you to say 2 nice things about your opponent, and I need you to say 1 nice thing about me, just so I feel better about myself leading this interview. Like, you're sitting here with this belt. I'm getting jealous over here. Like, I don't feel as good holding a microphone. You know, like, I need a confidence boost. So if we could say 2 nice things. You know, a lot of times we get up on these interviews and people talk shit on their opponent. Say 2 nice things about Emeka Ifukandu, and then 1 nice thing about me. Go.
Emeka is a very well-talented, you know, up-and-comer. He looks good. You know, he's athletic. You know, he's a stud. I'm not taking anything away from him. You know, he's got great striking.
That's 1.
He's got very good striking.
Okay,
you know?
2. That's 2. That's 2. Now me. Go.
You're a great commentator, and you have a great mustache, man.
I love it. I love it. William Joplin. Tomorrow night, this guy defends this strap right here, that Dynasty Combat Sports 145-pound title, live on Fight TV. Tune in for this guy.